Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I'm back up being joined once again by Jimmy, Jake, and like always, Fluff.
I'm not here.
What's going on, y'all?
I am here, though.
And today's matchup is kind of like a blast from the past. Almost everyone at our locals this past weekend just brought a variety of stuff. It was actually a pretty fun locals this time around. No meta jank going around. So today is Yellow Jiren versus Hatchhyack. Fluff versus Jake. Guys, take it away.
This was a matchup that I was honestly pretty worried about once I realized that it was not Red Jiren I would be going up against when Fluff said he was playing Jiren that night. The way that our leader effects work out is actually pretty advantageous for the Jiren player. So, it made this matchup a really interesting tightrope to walk as the Hatchhyack player, where you have to kind of plan even further in advance than you normally would as far as your battle step goes.
I felt exactly the opposite. I don't have many opportunities to swing with relevant battle cards in this match. So the ones that I do swing with, I have to just make those matter. And it's not until many late stages better, and I don't have a clean out to some of the problems that you present. And I know you have stuff like petrification, which is extremely difficult for me to deal with.
Yeah, it's a really powerful extra card that I've got access to, and I mean, you see me charging one there, so you pretty much know that I've got at least one other one already in my hand.
Yeah. Pretty much guaranteed. What is your plan moving forward from this point?
So, at this point, I'm really digging for a way to remove one of these Kunchis, because once you establish a second one, it's going to give all of your low drops barrier, and that's going to be a lot of like free successor food for you that I just can't interact with. So I think here I kind of took my game plan a little bit too slow, honestly, and instead of going for a more aggressive play, I just tried to build resources in my hand during that turn so that I could be ready to deal with what came down successor rather than dealing with the little pieces themselves.
Yeah.
And to just look at the cards face up on your field right now, you have a lot of really good cards already in not in play here is not the correct word, but hitting a super combo plus your secret rare and then having a petrification on the energy, like your hand has to be straight fire or like you're floundering at this point, I have to think.
Yeah, getting the secret rare, and in addition to getting a super combo under my leader milling one, was kind of demotivating at first, but the super combos in the drop area really aren't that big of a deal, and then it kind of allows me to defend 5 life, knowing that 2 of them are already gone, and it's not going to advantage me that much to go to 4. So, I think that kind of helped me, honestly, but losing Heroine's Lineage really sucked. Not that it would have helped me too much in the current game state, considering everything on his board is barrier, but that was kind of demotivating going into that turn.
For sure. So, Fluff, me and you have played a little bit of not this particular Jiren build, but we played another variant of this Jiren build. And I saw you burned your Champa very early on your first leader swing, which I've actually kind of become a fan of, to be completely honest, because in the matches that we played, it's been very detrimental for me for you burning that so early. So what was your thought about doing that against Hatchhyack?
The whole thing with Hatchhyack is because he has access to the Adventure Begins Son Goku, and he's able to rotate the balls every turn, it's really difficult at times to deal damage to this leader. Like you see there, every time that I swing, he's basically just going to burn a ball to keep himself from having to take the damage. So what I want to do is just get the extra in early. And that was what I was thinking. I had the spare energy to do so, so I burned it. Just to make sure that I got 2 in as quickly as possible. My goal is to try to get him down to 4 so I can just kill him with a quad strike. That's what I'm trying to do. And I have 2 turns to do it. So I'm on turn 3. I want to try to kill him on turn 5 if I can. So I just have to try to survive up until that point. And there you see I got to suck the Dispo off of Dispo, which is a draw 2, which is amazing. And then I go into Awaken. I've pretty much already used all my Awaken tactics for stuff. Now it's just making sure that I have the quality of cards on the field and hand to support my later turns, which is augmented by the fact that practically everything has barrier.
Yeah, this Jiren board can be really difficult to deal with if your opponent can get it rolling early. And playing that Unison, really any Unison with 15k power or more against Hatchhyack is always a solid move because it's just going to give you 1 more attack each turn. And frankly, that was a little bit worrying for me.
This Unison threw a lot of people off all night. Even though it didn't really do a lot, it was people felt extremely alarmed by it and put a lot of attacks into it.
Is that the Unison that boosts the leader when all your energy is in rest mode as long as it's mono yellow?
Yeah.
Yes. Also, if you can resolve the -4, you can keep your opponent's energy in rest mode. And I figured that would be a death sentence against your high-powered bombs.
Yeah, that really wasn't the plan with this Unison. This Unison was really just designed to cycle through and get Universal Evans in the drop area. And here, I burnt the Nimbus not to floodgate the amount of attacks that you could do, but I didn't want to be forced to take another marker off my Unison, and I want to force you to tap 4 energy to play thwarting, if that's your plan, so I can rest mode the thwarting and move into my 4th turn with you tapped out. Which, of course, is what happens here.
Yeah. So I kind of figured this is what you were going to do. And considering the amount of cards in my hand at this point, I think I'm like 14. I feel like I can survive your push just because of my leader effect. And I kind of expected thwarting to get rest moded in some form or fashion here. And really, I'm okay with that because in yellow and green, it's really hard to remove something without KOing it, especially a big 8-drop.
Yeah.
So if you spent a card to put thwarting into rest mode to increase the hand size differential between us, I was kind of okay with that at the moment.
Yeah, your hand was gigantic, and it can be difficult sometimes for Jiren's hand to get up where it needs to be. Here, I'm just trying to keep your Unison off of being able to -2. -2 is not the worst thing in the world, but it's not something that I want to deal with.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of that Unison, just dropping it, cracking it for 2, and then passing on it. I think it's a fantastic Unison just for that defensive capability, but it also helps out great in Hatchhyack because you get that extra swing and that extra draw power, which Hatchhyack really doesn't need the draw power, but it is like
I'll take it.
cherry on top. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For a 2-drop Unison, like it's easy to fit in. Like it's a very. I really like the design of the Unison. It feels nice to play that card.
Yeah, it really does.
A lot of the 2-drop +1 draw card Unisons end up being quite good.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Here, I don't want to I don't think I have a lot to do with my energy, so I just pass as opposed to swinging in and giving you more cards in your hand and opening up windows for things to go wrong. So I just passed there as opposed to pressure the leader. Like you already have enough at your disposal in your hand, and I just don't need to give you more.
Yep, so here I swing with the 6-drop first, trying to like maximize my turn. And I get a little bit punished for it here. But in the Jiren matchup, it's not a big of a punish as you would think. Like, as I said before, I don't care to have Gogeta in rest mode. And then, additionally, I was going to swing with that, but I can't. Additionally, he's only going to take 1 damage each turn anyway. So the triple attack is kind of irrelevant. You're really just using it to remove cards from his board and cards from his hand. And, so I still think maybe swinging with that and getting the extra cards out of his hand first would have been better looking back, but going for the double strike kind of would have forced him to use his leader effect early, and then I could have spent the rest of Gogeta's attacks whittling his unison down, which was my initial plan.
Yep. My goal here is to try to get you to tap energy and maybe draw in and be able to tap your Demigra or tap your Goku, whichever I see the need to tap down. Because I know what's coming, but I just want you to spend some of your energy, whether it be on a negate or whatever's coming up. The more cards that I can get you to tap, the better position that I'm going to be once I decide to turn my energy sideways. And you burned a super combo here, and I was like, yes. What were you digging for there?
Honestly, I was just trying to leave energy in active mode, because this deep into your turn, I know you're going to play some huge bomb, and I'm going to need energy. Unfortunately, I didn't think it would remove my energy from the table. So that's something I didn't really take into account.
Yeah. That Jiren is huge. The Jiren was huge all night. And you did get a blocker in play for all my hard work, which sucks, and I know I'm not going to get the quad strike through, but I didn't figure that I was going to get the quad strike through anyway.
It places the cards, right? It's not KOing the battle cards.
Right, it places them in the drop area, which is how you get around
Gogeta's
energy. Type.
Yeah, AJ Jiren is just a massive bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cell right behind it.
Yeah, and here it's just all... Yeah. He's still got a ton of cards in hand. And I was hoping to hit something like Petrification or more negates. I did hit a max power, which is nice, so I know you're not going to warp the cell off the field. You might swing into it and kill it or something like that, but this just speaks to the resilience of Hatchhyack and how hard it can be to get through it sometimes.
So I was worried about an overrealm, which is what kept me considering not using Petrification here, but I felt like I had to. I mean, I've got another quad strike coming at me.
It's a dual attack for quad strike 40,000. You gotta stop it.
Yeah. At this point, I was standing over the game watching it, and it was just an absolute big fucking greaser, bro. Like, looking at both players' hands is like, damn, what is going on? Because it's easy to think, once AJ Jiren comes out, pops the energy, it's dire situation. You have to feel like you're just done at that point, and then seeing Cell behind it is just even worse.
Really, playing those blockers just crushed my emotions.
Insult to injury.
Yeah, I'm surviving multiple quad strikes a turn, and then he's like, yeah, but I'm safe, though.
Yeah, but I still, I'm not safe. I don't feel safe. And that's kind of where Jiren is. Like the power of Jiren is I need you to die, and you just won't. And but like my timer is running out as the Jiren player, and this is running into the point of the game where it's favorable to hatch. And I know as soon as you get a swing through to deal damage, you could easily kill me.
And at this point, Cell Xeno is a single strike because the errata moved quad strike to the activate or to the auto.
Correct.
So it's not that much of a threat anymore, especially since the hatch player has 4 life. But still, that's just a scary threat to also see. I forgot the name of this Jiren. I apologize, but I also love this card.
Ultimate Force?
It's Universe's strongest.
Yes.
And this one you can't respond to, so you can't block her, you can't counter. Here I am comboing in on it.
Let's talk about this interaction.
Yeah. I could see Fluff moving to combo his entire field and hand, and I just, started feeling horrible. I was like, if I win the game this way, I don't think I'll be able to forgive myself. So I just kind of stopped him and was like, I'm gonna not take 4 damage, so just don't do that, buddy.
Jake, you're a better man than I would be in this situation because I would have let Fluff combo out every bit of that. I would have gave a little bit of waterworks. I would have rubbed my head, be like, "Damn, bro, like what are you doing? Stop comboing! What the hell?" And then I would have slapped that motherfucker with that brainwash.
You're gonna pull the Bancroft, go, "Oh, this is the worst hand ever."
I don't know if I have any negates left.
I will say, in a normal, real-life tournament event, let your opponent get rid of their entire board.
Yes. It's no different than your opponent walking into a Final Flash.
Right.
And it's honestly my fault for not expecting that from the hatch player.
Yeah. Especially if they don't immediately scoop after that Jiren swings at them. And they have nothing to do. Like, they can't negate, they can't block. They have, 6 cards in hand.
Yeah.
And
here, I just lost the big threat. You're still at 4 life, so I'm really feeling the pressure here.
Yeah, because I had to take one from
you had to take the one from
Brainwash.
From the big boy. So I'm feeling very vulnerable.
And here you just swung to get rid of cards, I guess, out of his hand, because he's already activated the...
Yeah.
Which, I mean, no damage, but like I said, you're minusing 2 to his hand. So it's like he comboed.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is really the only reason to do that.
Shit. What?
Another Jiren following it up.
Where's your god now?
Yeah, it was just Jiren after Jiren, all night, getting into turn 5, turn 6. Every time it was a Jiren or a Cell or there was one game that I played that I hit 4 quad strikes in the same turn.
That's amazing. I mean, it just shows the level of consistency that this deck has, which is great. I mean, truth be told, I don't know how much difference if you comboed off your board, because it looks like you still were able to go one more turn, but you wouldn't have this combo power backing it up. So maybe Jake could have comboed out of it.
If I had never comboed up my field, I wouldn't have had a field for defense.
Right.
And I wouldn't have had a Universal 11.
Oh, that's right. You wouldn't have anything on the field to keep yourself. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He would have been able to use his effect, and then I play the 4-drop and completely eat his lunch.
That's right. Well, with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed today's matchup. Keep in mind, there's buttons down below and on the screen while Fluff does the outro.
I got a mercy win here. That's really all that was. I think Jake, by all right, won that. Jake baited me out and just in his heart of hearts couldn't do me that way. I think that's a rap song, isn't it?
Maybe.
Or like an R&B song. I don't know. Anyway, let us know what you think down in the comments below. If there's anything you want to see us do on the channel, we're always open to your suggestions. As always, read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to. Like, telling your opponent not to combo their field out and then winning the next turn. Fluff out.